My first journey to North Korea begins on a bus. From Vladivostok, Russia, I'm heading toward the border. On the way, I send my last message to my family and log out of everything because the Korean border guards might take my phone for inspection. At the border station, the signs are already in Korean.
Turn off your phones.
Outside the window, our train to North Korea. We're now in the train car. This train is just one car, and it only crosses the border from Kasan in Russia to the North Korean side. They gave me this compartment, but I won't need it because the whole ride will only take 10 to 15 minutes. Still, the car seems ready for a long journey. They laid out pillows, blankets, mattresses. Take a look at how pretty the blankets are. How nice. The conductor has a jar of kimchi, rice soaked in a basin, lots of water, and even his own green onions inside the compartment. Instead of napkins on the table is a roll of toilet paper. Okay, so we had just left Russia. Those pagodas over there, that's China. And this now is already the beginning of North Korea. In the distance, the skeleton of an unfinished automobile bridge from Russia to North Korea. For many years now, they've been promising to launch it in the coming years. But for now, it's impossible to travel by car from one country to another. And now, we cross the barbed wire and enter another world completely. The first thing that catches the eye is the huge number of soldiers marching across the fields. This would be normal for a border zone, but none of them are armed. These soldiers are carrying stretchers. One soldier has a shovel instead of a rifle, another carries a shovel, and behind him someone with a bag. It becomes clear that these soldiers aren't heading into combat, they're going to work the fields. North Korea has the highest number of soldiers per capita in the world. 1 million for a population of 26 million. That means 4% of all Koreans are currently in the military. Their military service lasts 10 years, but it's not always about fighting. For many are sent to study at university, and that time also counts as their military service. Throughout my time in Korea, I often saw soldiers working at construction sites, in fields, and on various public projects. At first, I didn't understand why only a few soldiers had shovels and others didn't, but I would soon find out. Finally, the train arrives. They gave us migration cards to fill out. On the back, I listed all my gear, which I thought was incredibly important to do. I listed cameras, batteries, even every flash drive. I'm writing down everything, but I'm running out of room, unfortunately. There's not enough space to list it all. Honestly, I'm pretty nervous. I have a lot of equipment with me, and it's unclear how the border guards will react. We're getting off already?
No, not yet.
Oh, I rushed and I thought it was time to go.
Not yet.
And then I noticed one of the people in our group. I'm traveling with a group of other tourists, is wearing a badge of the Korean Communist Party on his chest. Turns out he boarded with us back in Vladivostok, but did so without the badge or was hiding it. I start thinking back, did I say anything risky on the way?
That's Comrade Kim. Ah.
Oh, you saw it? At that moment, I realized with all the cameras I'm carrying, the chances of me being let into North Korea just dropped drastically. Okay, are we getting off now?
Time to get off.
Getting off?
Yep, we're getting off. Rada finishes writing.
I haven't filled out the customs declaration.
But I'm already mentally preparing to head back.
We already see familiar faces, okay? Sign here?
Oh, a signature.
Yes, sign here.
I'll need a pen. Yes, I need a pen. Can I go back? I need to sign here. Do you have a pen?
Oh,
Oops, I'll pick it up. Sorry, excuse me. I got it.
can we go?
A customs officer helps load the suitcases into a large scanning machine. The disinfector itself looks brand new, but instead of the usual plastic trays, there are just pieces of cardboard, and the suitcase doesn't really fit on them. But the border guard finally manages. There it goes. There goes your suitcase. Now it's my turn to place my belongings on the red cardboard. Can I? My heart is pounding like crazy. Will they let me in or not? I'm sure they won't. That's it, guys. We're in North Korea. We're on the bus. Now we're probably headed to the hotel first, so we'll see. Crossing the border turned out to be surprisingly easy. Not a single question about the number of cameras I had.
Welcome. First, we'll visit the House of Friendship between Korea and Russia.
From the very beginning, I knew I wanted to experience something more than the standard tour in North Korea. First of all, I knew we'd be taken to tourist restaurants, but I was curious about the real North Korean street food. Second of all, I wanted to visit a real market, though I knew we'd only be taken to tourist currency shops. And third of all, I wanted to ride real public transports for locals, not just the standard tourist bus we'd be using for everything. And finally, I wanted to visit a North Korean household, which is strictly forbidden. I knew all this would be difficult, especially with our assigned guides, and believe me, there were many of them. That man with the party pin who had been with us from the start now wears it openly. In addition, we're accompanied by 3 women, and in front, a man clearly in charge. I mentally called him Comrade Major, and that's for a group of just 10 people. One of the women was filming all our movements.
During your stay in our city, we will become acquainted with our wonderful country, including Korea's politics, economy, and culture.
What immediately stands out is how many people are working around us, mostly doing manual labor. Some are plowing with oxen and actual wooden plows, though there is some machinery, and later I was told that it's become much more common in recent years. Goods are also transported by oxen, and sometimes by people themselves, or carried on poles like this. Filming is difficult due to the shaking from the uneven pavement. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep the camera steady, but it's not really working yet. But then the pavement ends altogether. We see that along this bumpy road, dozens of people are trying to patch it up, and right before our eyes, much of North Korea's coastline is sealed off with barbed wire.
Is this a barrier? It's for security. Yes, it's for security. I thought it was the border.
But the barbed wire is just along the beach.
Yeah.
They let us off the bus to admire the beach. Just take a look at the beautiful shore here. The coastline is so wide. Look at it, so wide. The beach is empty though, because there's a fence right before it, and it goes along the entire coastline. There you can see some defense sites and some military patrol, but the beach is so incredibly beautiful to me. Absolutely picturesque. If you look at satellite images, almost the entire coastline of North Korea is fenced off. People can't just go to the beach. There are only a few passages through the fencing to the shore, in the area of the main seaside resort Wonsan, and in ports and industrial zones. To go out to sea, for example for fishing, you have to go through a special procedure. In the city, near the waterfront, there's military security. Some kids went out to the beach over there, and a soldier went to chase them away so they don't go near the water. They're backing away from the water. Yes, they're being told right now. Oh, that was close. So we can only go this far, and here we have to stop?
Right there. I see where the stick is.
It's not a stick, but it's actually the end. Here's the soldier, making sure we don't accidentally make a run for the sea. Is this the city? Our hotel is, you probably won't even see it. It's right on the Cape. Can you imagine how far away we're located from the city? We probably won't be able to reach the city, not even by foot. When we entered the city of Razin, the first thing that stood out was the complete absence of advertising. Instead, there were propaganda posters and slogans. Welcome back all, we're in Razin. This is the capital of the eponymous Special Economic Zone in the northeast of North Korea. It's the first such economic zone in the country. Here, unlike in other parts of North Korea, the use of foreign currency is allowed. You can pay directly in shops with yuan, dollars, whatever you like. In fact, tourists are not even allowed to use the local currency. Let's look at how people live here. Here's a propaganda banner being hung. Look, one man is working, 2 are holding the ladder, and 4 more are supervising. The one in black clearly stands out, and he's most likely a party official. As you can see, it's the same situation here. 3 holding, 2 watching, including the man in all black. Apparently, the responsibility is shared in case the poster falls or gets torn. After all, it might have the name of one of the leaders on it. That's when I understood why only some soldiers in the field had shovels. The others must have been assigned to supervise. Soldiers are the only pedestrians that cars yield to. And actually, there are far more cars in North Korea than people usually say. Most likely, the myth about completely empty roads dates back to the 1990s and early 2000s. I personally first learned about North Korea in the year 2000. Our neighbors at the country house had gone on a work trip and sent us absolutely shocking videos from there. This is what the streets of Pyongyang looked like back then.
As you can see, there are practically no cars.
There are some, but it's the weekend.
As you saw, completely empty roads. Not a single car, very few people. It looked like a ghost town, and Pyongyang just seemed deserted.
Actually, filming isn't allowed everywhere.
That's right.
They might confiscate your footage or erase it. I'm concerned you could get in trouble.
Now there are cars on the roads. In Pyongyang, there are even occasional traffic jams. In the relatively small city of Razin, where I arrived, you don't see jams, of course, but there are a lot of taxis on the streets, and I immediately decided that I absolutely had to ride in one. There aren't a lot of cars on the streets of North Korean cities. You can't say there are none, as most of them are taxis, but I also saw a Mercedes, a Chinese Haval, and a Range Rover. Here we can see an old Land Cruiser passing by, if you can see in the video. Let's see what else I can mention here from what I see. A rare privilege is an electric bicycle. Most of the people ride ordinary bicycles, but electric ones are a sign of wealth. And to buy one is quite an accomplishment, I'm seeing. An indicator of the significantly increased traffic is the presence of speed cameras that give speeding tickets. There's a police officer behind me, and he's holding a radar gun. So it looks like someone might be speeding here. You're only allowed to drive slowly.
40 kilometers.
40. And what's the fine for speeding? What's the penalty if you go faster?
He won't. He's a model driver.
In general, everything here is supposed to be model perfect.
All right, and now you may take pictures and film only good sights.
However, I was soon to learn that my idea of good might not completely align with the organizers' views of what's good.
Lift off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Sky limit, no limit. We go.
we've come to the bank to exchange money. Actually, Razin is a special economic zone. Any foreign currency is accepted here, but what is really most preferred is the yuan. At first, the bank was closed. It's already 5:30. It closed at 4:30. But they promised to open it especially for us. This is awesome. It turns out they're opening the bank just for us. That means now we can exchange money so we can buy things. The bank was opened half an hour later. All right. We're in the bank. I'm not sure if we're allowed to film here. But I want to understand the exchange rate. All the signs are translated into English since this is an international zone. They even offer credit here. Local people are clearly exchanging money here. They're a bit uneasy because a bunch of foreigners suddenly showed up. I don't know who all those people are, apart from us. Considering the bank was closed and only open just for us. But look, someone is being handed stacks of cash. I doubt they're giving him money just for our benefit. Some bloggers and journalists have claimed they've encountered staged scenes in North Korea. Some are convinced that the authorities build entire residential neighborhoods, even whole cities, not for people to live in, but purely for propaganda purposes to show the tourists, and the buildings stay empty. Honestly, during all my time in North Korea, I never saw anything like that. The idea that a poor country would build dozens of new buildings just so bloggers have something to film seems strange to me. I'm still not convinced on that subject. They ended up not wanting to exchange our money into North Korean won.
It's better to pay in yuan here. Koreans also
In
use
yuan.
yuan among themselves.
Among themselves?
Yes.
But personally, I really wanted to get some won, more as a souvenir since they wouldn't let us pay with them anyway, for reasons I couldn't understand. But what interested me even more was a North Korean bank card, which is their version of Visa or MasterCard, but local only. I had heard they existed, but at first, no one even wanted to admit it.
Ask if they use cards. Bank cards? Yes, ask if they use them.
Do you have bank cards? Yes, please ask, if you don't mind, because we saw some people have them.
Well, let's see. No.
But after a brief negotiation, it seemed we got lucky. Well, alright guys, let's take a look at what a North Korean bank card looks like. At that moment, I still didn't believe it would work. Getting a bank card is usually a lengthy process, and for a foreigner, it can take weeks. And in North Korea, I thought it would be outright impossible. So are there really bank cards here?
We'll find out everything now.
A man with a badge who had traveled with us from Russia helped us get the card. He spoke both Korean and Russian fluently without any accent. These guys know how to negotiate. We stared as if we were hypnotized as the cashier started counting out local cash for us. She's handing us mountains of money.
Oh,
mountains.
yeah.
The exchange rate was about 9,000 won to the dollar. They're really going to make us a card? That's awesome. We've already got the cash. Now I want to get an authentic North Korean bank card. Yes, a North Korean bank card. I was surprised such a thing even existed.
We would really appreciate
I want to see what it looks like. And I want to know how long it takes to open one. And finally, one of us gets the first card.
Here it is.
Thank you. Well, here it is. This is a real North Korean bank card. We put 25 yuan on each card. I'll say right away that we never got to use them. Look, they're not personalized, so it's not like there's a stack of cards. And now she's loading money onto each one through the terminal. Do you see that right there? And hopefully soon we will have North Korean bank cards. I don't know if I'm violating some kind of international sanctions by opening a bank account in North Korea. Is this a real account or just a prepaid card with a cash balance? I don't know. What do you think? Is this an actual North Korean bank account? But no, it's probably not. Because we didn't sign any documents, That I'm sure of. And they didn't take our passports. So most likely this is just a prepaid card with a balance. A few minutes later, they hand me local money. I've got the cash. Korean wons. So I can spend this. And the local card. There's no name on it, as you see. Just numbers. And there are no numbers on the back either. Okay. It's loaded with 25 yuan. I'll note below how much that is in local won. And with this, I can now make payments inside North Korea. Only later did I notice that something on the card had been blacked out with a marker. What do you think they were hiding? Leave your guesses in the comments. This, you guys, is probably the most important place in any city. The market. Look how big it is. It's multiple buildings. You see the signs there? Yes, there are shops, taxis waiting, and tons of people. Here are two local women who arrived by taxi to the market, but were not allowed in.
They're warning us that we're not allowed to enter anywhere.
Is that sign showing what they sell in the store?
Yes.
Unfortunately, our guides don't let us get anywhere near any kind of market or food stall. One night, I managed to sneak into an open market. Is that a Korean pear?
How much is it?
6 yuan per kilo.
That expensive?
It's not expensive at all.
You might think this is the only setup for tourists, but locals are actually shopping here, and yet we weren't supposed to be here at all. The guide was clearly upset that I had broken away from the group and explained to the vendor that we shouldn't be here.
Please, let's go to the bus.
It's unclear why a simple stall like this would need to be hidden. She said 6, right? Was it 6?
Watermelon?
Melons,
Melon? Pineapples?
pineapple,
There's so much fruit here.
and it even says Korean watermelon. Believe it or not, we are the only foreigners near this stall. And it's right in the central square. It's nighttime and the bus is gone, and unfortunately we can't take a taxi by ourselves to the hotel. The taxis don't drive tourists around. We've been told that taxis are for people who live or work here, but not for temporary visitors. First, take a look at this television that's broadcasting with sound right onto the central square. People come here just to watch TV. For example, behind me, there's a mother with a child currently watching. Second, the lights are on in the high-rise buildings, not in every window, but still there are lights. People live here. These are real residential buildings, obviously. And it would be strange to build high-rises just for tourists. Even the idea, which some bloggers mention, sounds strange. Naturally, these are residential buildings. There are a few cars, but mostly what you see driving around are taxis. The day after this footage, I had an unpleasant conversation with our guides.
We need you to please delete that video.
Delete it.
Okay, but what's wrong with the pear? There's nothing bad about that. They were just pears. We even ate them later.
It's not good.
So if I show a video where I'm buying pears, the vendor might get into trouble, right?
Well, it's just best if you delete it.
Our guide kept getting calls from that same guy whom I called Comrade Major, and each time she came back with the demand to delete the video. What, could they shut down that stall?
No one's ever filmed such a regular section before. It's questionable. Because it's just a normal stall and a regular vendor's. So she is very... You could say, well, she is...
She's worried that...
Yes, very worried.
Can you explain what kind of trouble she might get into because of this?
She's just asking this of you.
I see. She could get into trouble if I don't?
She'd like it deleted.
I see. Is it her asking, or is it your supervisor who wants it deleted?
She's asking.
She's asking. She got scared, huh?
Yes.
She's scared because
Yes.
these unknown people just showed up.
Indeed. Very scared, yes.
Yes, we were strangers to her. So, we had to delete the video. Though, of course, everything deleted can easily be recovered later. To be honest, I didn't notice the vendor being scared or nervous while I was filming. It was more like our guides were nervous because something didn't go according to plan. So much so that they came the next day to take the footage away.
Yes, I'd say for our citizens, this kind of thing is a first.
The first time someone just came up and bought pears from a little shop as a foreigner?
Yes, first time.
You know, your pears are really tasty, and the apples too. You need to feed the local people these delicious fruits. Well, I suppose you do. Yes, because people want to eat this delicious food. Why can't foreigners try the most delicious Korean pears? Yes, I understand. So yeah, they asked me to delete the video of us buying pears at the stall. I'd say that's incredible. There are actually lots of shops and stalls here selling all kinds of products. They are just not shown. 99.9% of the myths about North Korea exist because locals don't let you see things. And that's why outsiders assume there's no food or anything at all. But what I'm understanding is there are all kinds of foods and products to buy for locals. That made me even more curious to find out more, to finally see a real market. Unfortunately, I can't tell you or show you how I got these shots. Here's the meat section. Someone recognizes me as Russian and addresses me Soviet style.
Comrades! Comrades!
A woman wants to sell me a piece of lamb. I walk on to the vegetable section. I'm super nervous. Though honestly, this all looks like a regular market. Greens, garlic, potatoes, spices. But if I get caught filming, I can't even imagine what would happen. So I flinch every time someone calls out to me.
Comrades!
Notice, almost every vendor stall has a QR code. That's how people pay in North Korea. The card I got from the bank in reality is not accepted almost anywhere. It's only useful for withdrawing cash. Now I head into the fish section. Here are some shrimp. It says they're sold only wholesale, huge snails, and they're alive. Nearby, they sell scallops and mole crabs, which are Far Eastern shrimp with a unique flavor. Apologies for the image quality. The lighting was poor, and I had to film discreetly. Now we pass the meat section again. Lots of lamb and pork. Here are duck heads. Then come various household goods. A man is fixing a gas Primus stove. I've blurred people's faces just in case, but know that most vendors are women. Many of them wear red or blue vests, which are apparently a local uniform. This is not a spontaneous or illegal market. Look how much seafood is here. All prices are in yuan. Battered fish are 2 yuan per kilo. Salmon are 30 yuan per kilo.
Game intact.
Huge crabs are 25 yuan. Only locals shop here. And here's the menu of a local restaurant. From the prices in won, it's clear this is for locals. Foreigners don't pay in won. A giant fried fish with vegetables is 45,000 won. That's under $5. A big bowl of seafood and meat is 70,000 won. That's under $8. Near the market is a shop with cheap Chinese toys and fruits. And here's a selection of local sodas. By the way, I truly never saw Coca-Cola in North Korea, but there are plenty of alternatives. Prices range from 7 to 10 yuan, about $1 to $1.50. But snacks, they're local. A bag of chips costs about $1. There, a typical selection of local alcohol. I'm not the first to film in a market in North Korea. Here's some footage from 5 years ago. Pies, meat, fish, vegetables, street food stalls. Often the main village square simply becomes the market. By the way, eggs cost 800 won for a dozen. That's less than 10 cents. Everyone shops at markets like this. Ordinary people, military personnel, and even fashionistas like these women. Look at the beautiful dresses some women wear here. We'll talk more about this later. By the way, just by the clothes and especially by the absence of blue jeans on the stalls and people, you can tell this is North Korea, not some other Asian country. In reality, the market assortment is pretty much the same as elsewhere in the region, and the prices are enviable. I simply don't understand why tourists aren't allowed here. If it's because sometimes there are scuffles.
Get out of here. Don't touch me. I told you not to come back here.
And some vendors lose their patience.
Get away from here!
Well, this could happen at any market. If anyone thinks the market looks unappealing, I assure you, if I filmed it openly and properly instead of secretly, you would see a perfectly decent market full of appetizing food. I really don't understand why I have to film all these delicious things secretly and just drool over them without the opportunity to buy them. Personally, I'd much rather buy a crab here for 25 yuan and ask the restaurant to cook it than eat the standardized typical food they feed to foreign tourists in North Korea. While it's tasty, it's not exactly what the locals eat. Okay guys, here's the route we'll take today. We'll climb the mountain and see some amazing sights. Of course, I'd like to film beautiful landscapes with a drone, but even small amateur drones are strictly forbidden in North Korea. In South Korea too, flying drones is limited, but the scenery of the North can only be found in propaganda videos of terrible quality, and even worse is their musical accompaniment.
이 세상에 그 사람
In reality, this is a very beautiful mountainous country, little explored by tourists for obvious reasons. But we're also here for propaganda purposes, to see the famous texts carved on the trees.
The great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung came to this mountain on June 22, 1945.
I'll say up front, you can't learn history from these tours. The North Korean version may differ from the global one, but I was curious to see the famous trees with slogans, the first example of local propaganda. This was very interesting. Kim Il-sung, the grandfather of the current North Korean leader, was appointed to lead the northern zone of the liberated Korean peninsula by the Soviet leadership. He managed to consolidate his position so firmly that he ruled the country for almost half a century and passed power to his son. Much of such political longevity is built on skillful myth-making, the first of which were the revolutionary trees. Trunks engraved with revolutionary inscriptions where partisans swore loyalty to Kim Il-sung were only found about 20 years after the war. At first, only in the northern part of the country where I am, then increasingly everywhere. You can come closer here and take a better look at these inscriptions. These trees appeared on postage stamps, on propaganda posters. They began to be exhibited in museums. But the most interesting thing is that some inscriptions made in the early 1940s.
Yes.
So they wrote these in 1942, 1943,
Yes.
right? Praised not only the military talents of Kim Il-sung, but also his son, Kim Jong-il. This undoubtedly shows the prophetic talent of the partisans since Kim Jong-il was just born then. The North Korean authorities also create enormous propaganda inscriptions on rock faces, some carved several meters deep. They are meant to be visible from space and to never be erased. Perhaps tens of thousands of years from now, our descendants will judge all of us by these inscriptions, just as we judge ancient civilizations by rare archaeological finds. Can you tell me, when you wake up, how does your day go? People are curious to know all about it. Can I record?
Yes.
You want to see how you look? Look in the camera there. There's the screen. You look good, I promise. In the morning, you need to clean the portraits, right?
Yes.
And you do this every morning?
Every morning?
I'm asking if you need to clean the portraits every morning.
Oh, yes, every morning. Of course, every morning.
Uh-huh. That's very North Korean in spirit, never getting tired. You said you never get tired, right?
No, that's not quite right. No.
It's not polite to say?
No. That's not how we speak here.
Ah, yes, I'm sorry. North Koreans not only dislike their country being called North Korea, but recently it seems Kim Jong-un has abandoned the idea of reunification. Previously, the South was considered part of their territory, temporarily separated. The South also thinks this way. In Pyongyang, there was the Arch of Reunification, symbolizing a future unified Korea. But in 2024, Kim Jong-un ordered its demolition without warning. Here it is on the map, and now nothing is visible. Remember the blacked out part of a North Korean bank card? That blacked out part was an image of the United Korean Peninsula. Because now there is no talk of unity anymore. On all maps in the country, the South Korean part of the peninsula is blacked out. Here, for example, you can see they painted over it poorly, and the old paint still shows through. Officially, no policy change was ever announced, but it is believed to have happened in January 2024. Here's the news broadcast from January 15th, 2024. Kim Jong-un hugs children, people applaud, more applause, again applause, applause and shouting, applause and jumping, applause and crying, which is no longer surprising. Also, rockets are flying. Everything explodes, everyone is happy. And at the end, the weather forecast shows all of Korea on the map, united, as it has been for more than 70 years. Stability. And here is the broadcast from the next day. Kim Jong-un is happy again. People applaud him. More applause. Lots of applause. Of course, tears again, and rockets are flying again. Everything explodes, everyone is happy, and at the end, again the weather forecast, where the south of Korea for the first time in 70 years is blacked out. That's how everyone learned about the country's radical policy change. All the travel through the city is only by bus. So we went from the restaurant, which is right there, and now we are going to the park, which is right there. So it's just across the road, but we could cross that road only by bus. We weren't allowed to any other way. All right, here we are. We spent a whole minute for that, and now we can leave the bus. At the park entrance, our temperatures are measured. By the way, the same was done at some restaurant entrances. And for the first time, we get to be together with the locals. At first glance, it looks like a normal city park. Kids are riding electric cars. Funny that these cars have German license plates from the European Union. They play games, roller skate, and eat cotton candy. Everyone is dressed like kids everywhere else. The difference from a similar park in a small town anywhere in the world is only that kids play together with other kids or adults. Or like this, with a rubber ball, not a smartphone. They talk in person, not in chats. By the way, smartphones are not few in North Korea. I'll tell you what's inside them later. Even teenagers have them. Here comes a guy chatting on one. But from what I observed, it's mostly adults who get hooked on them here. Honestly, at first in the park, I didn't think any contact was possible. Everyone was watching us with great concern. But soon I realized my fears were groundless and silly, thankfully. With a girl renting out shooting rifles, we agreed without words. Okay guys, I'll shoot now. Here's the rifle. I'm not going to pretend to be a sniper. Not like this guy who hits every time. You are very good. I don't know why I said that in English. In Russian or English, I still shoot badly. And you'll see. But I'll try. I was curious how the people around me would react. Look, the guy behind me is shooting with one hand, like a cowboy. The first to gather around were children.
Move back. He did it!
Hit it! The bullet here is this little plastic piece. And here come the adults. Ah, I missed. The guy shooting with one hand decides to pay and leave. By the way, he really pays with yuan.
Oh!
Well, I hit it the third time.
Impressive.
Just a sniper. It is my first time shooting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ah! It's okay. Yes. Come on, you can shoot. You can take mine. Come on, come on, come on. At first, everyone got shy, but when one of the guys was about to decide, a man stepped forward. Oh, now that's a pro. Whoa! Super job.
Right,
That's great.
yeah.
Then the others got bolder.
Wow.
Good, more, try again. Did you notice how genuinely upset the guy was? The owner of the shooting range now helps and calms him down. Everyone quiets down. It's like it's no longer a game, but a competition. Oh! It's okay. Try again, you did great. After the second miss, the guy gets really upset and leaves. The next one is being calmed down by the woman straight away.
Here you go, your turn.
I didn't expect such care and involvement towards other people's kids, to be honest. But in Korea, this is normal. And I didn't expect such seriousness, even about seemingly amusing competitions. Seeing how upset everyone got after each miss, I try to encourage them. Good job, good job. Here comes our driver to shoot. Well, he's definitely a sniper. Because he missed, I had to delete that video and restore it later. Annyeong. Annyeong. During the trip, I often felt how playful contests or games turned into a matter of honor. Here we're being taught how to prepare traditional Korean dishes. I'll do a whole episode about food. And for dessert, injeolmi, steamed rice, needs to be pounded with hammers, turning it into dough. As I understand, they wet the hammer so it doesn't stick. But when we started, the Korean chef seemed to try to hit harder and better than me every time.
I think you've gone into a rush.
Yeah.
You're hitting it harder and harder. I'll just sit right here.
Being strong, resilient, and never giving up is part of the patriotic upbringing in North Korea, especially never giving up to a foreigner. Our guides, for example, reacted very badly when someone in the tourist group offered sweets to Korean children. It was seen as a gesture of condescension the locals didn't need or appreciate. By the way, the famine in North Korea was in the 90s, almost 30 years ago. But for some reason, many still think there's no food here. Thinking that way is like believing that bears with vodka roam Moscow streets, that Scandinavian women all have beards, that New York streets are only full of cowboys, or that only samurai walk Tokyo's avenues. In reality, it's not a rich country, but definitely not a starving one. However, the memory of the famine is so strong here that even the smallest patches of land are sown. It's fascinating when you look at any North Korean settlements from above. You will see that no piece of land is uncultivated. Look at the village below. Every bit of land around has been tilled and prepared for planting. Each small piece of land is thoroughly plowed and cultivated. It is quite amazing. Even with maximum usage, North Korea lacks enough farmland, so it literally creates them. Satellite images from different years clearly show how the country's territory has expanded. especially since 2011, when Kim Jong-un came to power. More than 80% of the country is mountainous. That's partly why North Korea struggles to fully provide for itself with food, and every bit of land is cultivated here. Look, even the missile test grounds are sown in neat rows. In cities, near residential houses, there are vegetable gardens where they grow vegetables and corn. Many Koreans live in these identical one-story houses. There are several types, which were probably designed at different times. We were allowed to walk a little down the street. I'm afraid they'll kick us out soon. You see what a residential house looks like. There's a courtyard inside. You see everything is well kept there too. There's a garden planted. The wall is painted, and the gates. People live there. By the way, notice they have plastic double-glazed windows, so it's a good house. A good roof. Here's another house, and it's fully planted, and you can see the onions already grown over there. The inner fence, which no one sees, is wooden, but look how neat it is, not crooked. Nearby, there's no trash or junk. The inner door is plastic wrapped. Inside, it's modest, but look how clean. In the living room, of course, there are portraits, both old style with stern leaders and newer ones where they're smiling. Above the door, a revolutionary slogan, and in the corner, an imported tape recorder. The TV, notice, is covered with a cloth, like a tablecloth. They cook on a stove heated by coal. Water is brought in a basin from a well, but most newer houses have running water. People sleep on beds here, though I was told many Koreans, like other Asians, prefer sleeping on mattresses on the floor. They eat on the floor too, as it's a tradition. In the corner is a military uniform. Under the table are rice reserves. Look, there's some coal at the entrance. Can you see it? Of course, later they came up to me and asked to delete all this footage. It's amazing how clean it is here. Just take a look at the pavement, at the bushes, how neatly they're cut. They are not green yet because it's early spring, but soon all will become lush and green and it will be beautiful. But most important is the cleanliness. Ideal cleanliness. The grass is cut, there's no junk in the streets, everything is tidy. Try to find even a speck of dust or a single crooked pole here. Look at this detail. It's a trash bin for cigarettes. Look how tidy it is. There's a little spot there, and we came earlier today and put out a cigarette. It's obvious that people regularly put out cigarettes here, and then it's being cleaned. The attitude towards cleanliness here is phenomenal. It's incredibly clean everywhere around us, on rural paths and everywhere. Right now, we are at a countryside guest house, and everywhere in town is always clean. Every stone under the bush is painted. Now we're going to the rural area. It's amazing. Look, every little pole, every pole is painted. If there's a metal pole, it's never rusty. They would never let it get to that state. If there's a sign, it's perfectly painted. Details are of great importance here. See the water drainage channel? The edge is neatly painted with a white stripe. Everything is perfectly tidy and super clean. I could go on and on about how clean everything is here, and there is no garbage. Not a bottle, not a single piece of paper, no junk at all. It's really quite amazing to see. Look at every single pole, they're all painted, like I said. This tidiness is especially striking compared to when you later leave for Russia. There too, the roads are run down, but you don't see repairs. Crooked houses are overgrown with weeds and fields with thistles. I shot these frames on the way to North Korea. I didn't see anything like this anywhere else. It's especially impressive that Koreans did all this by hand. That's right, almost without machinery. And not only dug fields, but built huge buildings. The cranes I saw were very old and few. I personally saw women working a crane. One tied a load to a rope and pulled it up through a pulley. I filmed it, but the video was censored and only the photos survived. Here, people dig in pairs. One holds the shovel, the other helps with the rope. A human excavator. Just imagine how much work it takes to carry tons of bricks to the 20th floor. It is exhausting to work so hard without machinery. There are no cranes, tractors, or road machinery in North Korea because of sanctions. Our governments banned the supply of any metal here, which means no vehicles or machinery, no coal, oil, or gas. They closed all banking transfers, so North Korea can only buy with cash or cryptocurrency. They even banned shipping monuments here, which is, of course, an elegant trolling. I'll tell more about monuments in future videos. North Korea can't buy fertilizers, so in the fields you see white dots. Those are seashells. They are used as fertilizers, and defectors aren't lying. That here to improve the soil, they actually collect.
Well, how should I say it? Poop. In North Korea, there aren't enough fertilizers, so we have to give poop to the state. If we don't meet the quota, there can be trouble, so sometimes people steal poop from their neighbors.
I don't know about the stealing, but here's the process of handing over biological materials for the good of the homeland. You can watch it from the windows in the mornings, but I don't see the slightest reason to giggle about this. Let me say again, it's our countries that put these people in such conditions, and even if you think it was necessary, laughing at this seems at the very least disrespectful. I tried, when nobody was watching, to find something shocking in North Korea. Here, surprisingly, you can see how ordinary Koreans live. Right here from the bathroom window. Their houses are small. These are residential homes. Apparently, an even older series of houses. They're all the same, but someone sawed out a window in the roof. There, children are coming back from school. Look, it's poor, but tidy here. No crumbling plaster or graffiti on the walls. No trash. Around the houses, benches and curbs are painted. Someone just arrived in a car. One thing to point out is, while I'm filming here, someone is talking on the phone in that stall. It's very interesting. Yeah, I'm just watching the life of ordinary people. It's incredible that I'm doing this from a bathroom. But unfortunately, I wasn't allowed closer to these houses, though I don't understand why. I'm sure the residents would have offered me something tasty, and we would have had a nice chat. Every time I was allowed to talk to ordinary people, it seemed we could easily find common ground. So I bought this ginseng root here, and I want to try it. You can eat it right away, right? At the pharmacy, I deliberately handed the camera to a saleswoman to see her reaction. Here, take it. Take it. Look. Though she keeps glancing at our guides, you don't really see fear in her eyes receiving filming equipment from a stranger. I would say it's a little bittersweet. The texture is like a caramel candy.
Ginseng root is good for you.
It was fun, and then other saleswomen joined the little show. By the way, the pharmacy seemed ordinary, not touristy at all. Yeah, obviously locals buy here.
Did you see? These are local people. They're locals.
Some might think it's staged, I don't know. But seeing the love of order in North Korea, it's unlikely that staged people would come in dirty pants and worn bags. Or this woman in a blue jacket, clearly unhappy about my filming, was definitely not acting for the camera. By the way, ginseng is very healthy. But the most important thing I took from that pharmacy was the fact that North Koreans aren't that different from us as we think. We're told scary stories about them. They hear scary stories about us. and were equally afraid of each other. Remember that man with the badge who traveled with our group and whom I took for a Secret Service agent? Turns out he was just a regular guy who often visits and likes to relax here. Yes, he likes to relax here. Many would find that hard to believe. But it's true for this man. He covered his face only because he's shy. I even interviewed him. But see the flash drive in my hand? The one I used to record audio? It also became a victim of censorship. Because on it, I also filmed those women working a crane. We fear them, and they fear us.
All this is very unique compared to, say, other countries I've been to or heard about.
How many times have you been to this country in a year?
4 times this year already. That's right. 4 times, and I quite enjoy it.
4 times?
4 times in 1 year.
In 1 year?
우리의 아버진 김일성 원수님 아버진 김일성 원수님 영재 세상에 부러움 없어라.
So guys, we're in Pyongyang, and here's a monument to the Juche ideology. This is North Korea, the most mysterious and closed-off country in the world. One enveloped in myriad legends, most notably dark ones. Today, we're going to get to the bottom of what's the truth and where's the lie. I'm Stas Natanson, and this will be North Korea, like you have never, ever seen it before. Let's go.
Let's all sing together. This will be our last and decisive battle.
너희는 내려다보며 빵을 던졌다. 가난한 북한 소년이라 불렀다. 하지만 난 바위보다 단단한 주체야. 늘 배고픔도 도이 깃발 아래 엎.
So guys, this is the second time this month that I'm heading to North Korea. This time, I'm flying from Vladivostok to Pyongyang. At the airport, the counter for Pyongyang can be seen from afar due to the amount of luggage that returning North Koreans are bringing with them. Everything here is just electronics, cosmetics, an ironing board, and that's a vacuum cleaner. On the packages, Pyongyang addresses and North Korean mobile phone numbers. By the looks of it, some of the goods will be delivered to different buyers upon arrival, or they will be sold at private markets, which there is now no lack of in North Korea. A man is carrying several televisions. You see, there is clearly a television over there. Oh, what's that? Oh, he has a cool watch on his hand. Check that out. This reminds me of a flight to Havana where Cubans were also bringing whole boxes of all sorts, including tires for cars. If you're going to the DPRK, be prepared that they will ban you from filming even when you check in for your flight. Well, yeah, so what?
What are you filming?
Well, I was filming the things that people are checking in.
Why is that?
Just because I wanted to.
Put it away.
No, I won't.
Why not?
Why should I put it away?
What law is this based on?
Why should I erase it? Why do you think that I should erase this?
No photos.
Huh?
Stop filming.
And why can't I?
It's our luggage. That's why I'm a representative here.
Well, okay, a representative of what?
Don't film this.
Well, you came to me yourself. I didn't come to you.
Well, yes, I work here.
Okay.
Put it away.
Oh,
You're a blogger. I know you. I watch your show.
well, thank you. They probably banned filming because sometimes they find contraband in this luggage.
Vladivostok customs officers found 12 Himalayan bear paws on a citizen of the DPRK flying to Pyongyang.
Frozen bear paws, skins, even mammoth tusks. All of this is then re-exported from North Korea to China for payment in foreign currency, or sold in North Korea to wealthy residents. And then we'll have a separate episode devoted to the rich in North Korea.
Thank you.
North Korean citizens don't miss out on the duty-free, prioritizing the expensive alcohol here. When North Koreans fly, do they buy from you?
Yes, of course. They like Blue Label.
Blue Label.
Yes, Blue Label.
Whiskey.
Yes, XO cognacs.
Cognacs.
Chanel. For themselves.
Uh-huh.
For their ladies.
Okay, Chanel, you mean the fragrance.
Cigarettes.
And cigarettes?
Yes.
Below us awaits an old IL-62 belonging to Air Koryo, the only North Korean airline and the only one with the right to fly in North Korean airspace. This airliner was made in 1979, and they stopped making them just 30 years ago. Consider it brand new. They gave it a long and thorough check, and evidently decided that it was too new for us to fly on. So they sent this Soviet Tu-154 for us, which is 3 years older. Filming here is, of course, prohibited. So guys, we're boarding the plane.
Stop, please.
Oh, I can't film?
Delete it.
Oh, sorry. The flight attendant is watching to make sure that I delete the video.
Thank you. For in-flight safety, passengers are forbidden to smoke or use any electronic devices, including cameras and mobile phones, for the duration of the entire flight. Thank you.
They said that you can't use a camera for in-flight safety because, as you know, taking pictures can cause turbulence and, well, other problems, of course. Every time that I was caught filming... Oh, I can't film here?
Sorry, no photos.
The flight attendants asked me to delete the video. They obviously don't know on this plane about the possibility of restoring deleted files. After all, it wasn't possible in 1976 when the airline was assembled. There are no overhead bins, only shelves. The toilet here, guys, is a special brand of hell, but I won't say much about it. It smells of kerosene mixed with what you usually find in a toilet. While on this plane, you feel like you're in a genuine museum. I mean, look at the cool tables in the front rows. They're all wooden. On the bright side, there are huge screens showing propaganda videos about North Korea and the appropriate music to go with them. A very unique machine. I hope we'll make it. I think this is the oldest plane I've ever flown on. Go time. Air Koryo currently flies only to Russia and China. Its fleet seems to have the largest fleet of Soviet airliner, the IL-18, the Tu-134, and the Tu-154, one of which we're now attempting to fly on to Pyongyang. For many years, the main aircraft of the country and the #1 choice for the family of leaders has been the IL-62. Its manufacture began in the 60s, but 30 years ago it was decommissioned, which is why for important trips abroad, Kim Jong-un borrows the airliner from his Chinese comrades. In 2009, Air Koryo also bought a Tu-204 from Russia, and in 2013, an An-148 from Ukraine. Here, Kim Jong-un is even at its controls. The news anchor comments, as if she herself is in the cockpit there with him, praying.
하늘 소병들과 함께 비행기를 타고 자국의 푸른 하늘을 날고 싶은 것이 자신의 심정이라고 늘 말씀하고 나시는 경의하는 최고 사령관 동지.
On our flight, as with everywhere in Korea, Kim's presence did not go unnoticed. For a quick immersion into the realities of the DPRK, they hand out the magazine Korea, on each page of which there are photographs of only one person, the respected Comrade Marshal Kim Jong-un. That is exactly what he should always be called in North Korea, and I'm getting used to it. To be honest, I'm really afraid of tearing even one page, because I heard that here, the image of the leader, it can't be folded or crumpled or torn. I mean, I don't even know. Is it okay for me to turn the pages and put one page on top of another? Is that okay? Or will I be punished for that too? While I was flipping through the magazine and immersing myself in the world of Juche, they brought over lunch, which looked like political sabotage. There was a burger in there. Let's see what's inside. Well, it's good times here. Meat, cheese, tomato. Well, fair enough, it's fast food. Well, normal burger, let's say. It's not bad. Let's try the sausage. It's really thick. But opening the North Korean sausage was no piece of cake. Did you figure out how it opens? I mean, there's a slit on the top, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I don't have one. No, let's try the second. Ah, okay, there's one on the second here. Okay, great. On the second one, they didn't forget to make a slit, and it opened. I mean, the sausage, I suspect, well, this thing is made of God knows what. Like all sausages of this kind, it's, well, the unknown products of decomposed nuclear fusion. And I suspect they use the nuclear waste from nuclear weapons testing here. And basically, they do this in all countries of the world. It's disgusting. I'm gonna pass on that. How do you like the burger?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good burger, right? Yeah. I have to say the flight attendants are really stunning. I mean, it's obvious that they take the selection of flight attendants seriously here, like in the good old days, you know, when only beauty queens were hired as flight attendants. The flight on Air Koryo turned out to be quite comfortable. It was an unforgettable experience. Never before had I seen a team of flight attendants work so fast, dishing out and taking away food and drinks, helping passengers, and doing it with such light fingers and quick feet without falling behind. Overall, it created a pleasant atmosphere, as much as that was possible. The plane's interior, despite it already being old, was in great condition, like you're flying inside a museum, and that's a unique experience. You can already see the famous unfinished Hotel Rugyeon in Pyongyang. We're approaching the runway in the capital of North Korea. Touchdown. Why aren't they letting you out? First to exit the Tu-154 are not the business class passengers, but those at the rear, where the heavy tail engines are positioned. They must disembark first so the plane doesn't rear up. The pilots perform a lively airside march. And there you have it, guys. We're in Pyongyang. This is as strange a feeling as it gets, walking around such an empty airport. Planes rarely fly to Pyongyang. Our flight is the only one that arrived at this airport today. Since 2020, North Korea has been completely closed to tourists, and now, 5 years later, foreigners are slowly being allowed in again. There's even a camera to greet us, and there are 2 more cameras over there. They're filming our arrival. It'll probably be on the news. They opened cafes and shops especially for our one flight, though sometimes without any staff or sales assistants. This watch is for 220 yuan, and this one's for 270. Or is it dollars? I've arrived as an ordinary tourist, hoping to get lost in the crowd amongst the others. And where's the 8th group? Here? The 8th bus? They divided us into groups of 15 to 20 people. Why are we marked like this?
Yes, what does this mean?
Okay.
And you were marked on that bus too, the one in gray. The gray one!
The North Koreans are taking away their huge luggage, and look at this gent in the expensive jacket. Over there, someone's fashionable Lexus is awaiting its rich owner. Meanwhile, they're taking away our passports.
Our passports?
Yeah. Everyone's passports were taken, and as long as we're on the territory of the DPRK, as I understand it, our passports will not be returned. Each group was assigned 2 escorts. as if they were a guide. A younger one, more often a girl, and then an older one who claims that he does not speak Russian. Their task was to make sure we didn't see anything unauthorized, whereas my task was to slip away from them to try to take a peek at something genuine. But very soon I realized that I'd underestimated the surveillance. Wherever we went, in addition to the escorts announced to us, there were dozens of unannounced ones following us. So here's a guy sitting in the circus completely still while filming us. I've been filming him for 5 minutes and he hasn't moved a muscle. And I wonder when he'll put the camera away.
Who stops first?
Yeah, who's gonna stop first, right? Anyway, I gave in first. I was just tired of holding the camera. He keeps on filming and filming though. I mean, he doesn't move the phone from us at all. He's still filming. I'll show you now. He didn't budge. He's an iron man with iron hands. He's continued filming us throughout the show. And it was a waste too, because the show was more interesting than we were.
세상에 부름 없어라 하늘은 푸르고 내 마음 즐겁다 손풍금 소리 울려
At the zoo, the surveillance continued. All right, you guys, let's try to count how many people are watching us in addition to our regular guides. First off, that guy over there, he's constantly walking around. That won't be the last we'll see of him. Second, this one too. He's pretending to have lost something. In fact, he's watching us. Check this out. I'm gonna go back and you'll see the gray-haired guy. So they're making out like they're just walking around. A zoo. Yeah, right. Here's a woman in a brown jacket as if she's looking at the animals. Number 2 is admiring the photos, and the gray-haired one, number 3, he even went ahead. Maybe I'm paranoid and they're not watching, so I walk in the opposite direction, pretending that I want to take another look at the animals that I passed. Those turtles there just look fascinating. After all, if everyone here is just ordinary visitors, then why should they come back? And after waiting a while, who do I see? An alarmed number 3 calling someone, but after seeing me, he hangs up and pretends to just be walking. And here is our number 5. She also decided to hang back, but maybe it's a coincidence. I run ahead and stand inside another zoo pavilion so that I can see who will follow me. And here is number 3 and number 5. They enter together, even chatting now. When exactly did they get so pally? And 20 seconds later, number 1 comes in and approaches these 2 guys. And that's how I tallied 2 more. And this couple also followed us to the end. And numbers 3 and 5, well, they tried to keep up the legend that they were not together. Oh, they're so gentle. Yes, they're herbivores. FYI, I'm talking about the zebra. I've supposedly stopped to talk, but I just wanted to film those who were following us. So look, 3 and 5 are walking together, but having seen me, the gray-haired one tells his companion to back away, and she does, while he continues walking along as if nothing happened.
The lips are so, silky. Velvety.
By the way, Pyongyang has a really nice zoo with an oceanarium. Note that some people are filming on smartphones. In North Korea, residents can film, send videos, and even make video calls. I'll show you all this in future videos. And not everyone here, it seems, is watching us. Most of them were clearly just regular visitors, many with children, and they reacted to us tourists quite normally. Yeah, there, check it out, look. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, look at that one. We are all constantly being watched by people who are not even part of our escort group. So, like, it's as if they're not with us. They're pretending that they're not with us.
It's like, oh, I'm just taking a casual stroll, but we already noticed them. We already recognize their faces and pretty much get it.
Yeah.
Who is who? It's very funny.
Yeah, it's really funny. So let me see now. It seems, two people are following us. There they are. These two are following us and pretending to just talk to each other. You know, I wonder if I just stand still and then just stand here, you know, what are they going to do? They pass by, and I decide to follow them a little myself, out of curiosity, but I make sure not to forget which side holds all the power here. At any moment, any one of them could take my camera away, ask me to delete the video, and that has happened. I mean, they could ask me to do anything. I don't even have a passport, and even if I did, it wouldn't change anything. These people showed up wherever we went. Their job was to follow unnoticed. Here's one of those following me, and then when she saw that I'd noticed her, she dove into her phone and seemed to start fixing her hair. But she didn't stray from her spot. Here, a boy became interested in what I was filming. He watched with curiosity and even waved his hand. But as soon as we tried to talk, this guy appeared out of nowhere and chased the boy away. And he was just an adult stranger passing by. He wasn't from our accompanying group. I don't know where he came from. So when we were in the North Korean mountains and there was no one around for kilometers, two of our group decided to just take a walk by themselves. And genuine panic ensued. The observers called the elder guide, and the elder called the younger guide. The commotion is just incredible. I mean, how? Even in the middle of nowhere, despite the fact that there is no one near us, but people have broken away from the group and could perhaps do something. The younger one eventually set off in pursuit, and then the older one was watching, a bag of nerves. I don't even know how it would have ended, but the guys came back on their own. Well, did they catch you, trespassers? Did they catch you red-handed?
Yeah, I already saw her running towards us.
I told you we shouldn't have.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you just wanted to take a walk, right?
Yeah, we just went for a walk a little further away. There's nowhere to run off here.
No, I mean, we had to give her credit for warning us that we had to walk to the bridge.
But of course, what you hear most are the rumors of wiretapping in North Korean hotels. During my 2 visits to this country, I've managed to stay in several, and each time I carefully examined the room for bugs. But most often I found strange homemade solutions in the electrical wiring. This is the first time I've seen a switch connected to a wall socket. And this is some kind of an adapter. And it's not really clear what it's from. Okay. Probably a socket from the television. But for some reason, it's made like this so that it can be connected like this. I don't understand what this is. But to be honest, I've never found any cameras or bugs. There was a funny incident once when I loudly asked for sparkling water just as a joke. This hotel would hands down get 5 stars if there was also sparkling water here. And a minute later, I was brought a kettle. It's water, right? Yeah, water?
Yes.
Yeah, water.
Boiling water.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you. It's not the sparkling water that I was talking about. It was boiling water. And now it's unclear whether they couldn't hear what I was saying properly, or that there's a tradition here of bringing boiling water to the room, which is also possible. Honestly, I think it was a coincidence. And you? Most of all, many are suspicious of these bedside tables with a built-in, non-working radio tape recorder. Here on the tape recorder, it says, "Warm welcome." I mean, how great, how pleasant it is when you're left the message, "Warm welcome." And you're glad that you genuinely do receive a warm welcome. There is a mountain of wires connected to it, and a lot of the hotels have bedside tables just like this. The hotel is apparently new, but they seem to be... So guys, we arrived in the city of Mikan at the Shangri-La Hotel, and in the hotel, as is customary in the DPRK, we are alone. So let's go. I will show you the room they checked me into. First of all, there is the same cabinet like the one in the hotel in Pyongyang, only here I have already looked at the wires. They don't stick out as strangely, and there are fewer of them. Well, let's assume that this is the same cabinet. And by the way, it does not work here either. All of these buttons, in theory, they should work. The hotel is supposed to be new, but they seem to all be fake, and I don't know why they're needed. But there is such a cabinet. In fact, there are two of them. Here's the second cabinet. There's a television, by the way. It's a Panasonic, a set-top box. This is a box that is featured in every room in the DPRK hotels. In case of fire, it is a gas mask. What else is interesting here? A kettle, tea, snacks, a wardrobe with a robe. There are slippers, by the way. I'm already wearing them. A warm blanket, absolutely new. I don't think it's ever been used at all. Like this shoe brush also. And by the way, here is the price tag for the bar menu. So look, beer is 61 cents, mineral water is 17 cents, fried cookies, probably these chips here, they cost 30 cents. By the way, they were building this hotel for almost 40 years. They started in the mid-1980s under Kim Il-sung and then finished in 2025. Well, almost finished. It appears several elevators are still yet to be installed. They don't work. The buttons don't work, and there's just a piece of wood here instead of an elevator door. But those that are in operation are American. In this hotel, the elevator takes you to any floor, but in the Yanggakdo Hotel, where we stayed in Pyongyang, there doesn't seem to be a fifth floor in the elevator. There is, however, a sign explaining that there is some kind of TV studio there, but rumor has it that's where the wires from the cabinet in each room lead. The wiretapping floor. Rada, with all of her charm, decided to find out everything directly from our North Korean guides.
But it's interesting. Where is the fifth floor? Why they have 4th floor and 6th floor? Where is 5th floor?
Maybe you know? Do you work as a TV presenter? No, I'm just a blogger. I'm just wondering where the 5th floor is. There is a 4th, there is a 6th, but where is the 5th? Here in our hotel, there is no 5th floor. Where is it?
Why are you laughing? It's really interesting.
It
looks like a secret.
You must admit, Rada deserves a like for her courage. Give her one on her channel, Beautiful Far Away, where there was also an episode about North Korea. And of course, we didn't get an answer. So we decided to find out everything by ourselves. Rada is dressed in black, like a ninja.
Why are we going to the elevator? We should take the stairs.
The what?
The stairs.
Well, first we need to go as low as possible. This is the hotel. Our tour groups are accommodated from the 25th floor and up. For some reason, no one lives on the 15th to the 25th floor. Below the 15th are the rooms of the guides accompanying us, and our goal is to pass unnoticed. Yeah, let's say the 15th, yeah.
The 15th.
They may already be watching us, as naturally there is a camera in the elevator. We don't know yet if there are cameras on the stairs. Okay, this is the 15th floor. That's it. From here on out, everything is pitch black. We're the only ones living in this hotel. Can you imagine? There are 47 floors in this hotel. 47 floors! Okay, come on.
We need to find the stairs.
The stairs, I think, are somewhere over here. Okay, yeah, here they are. In 2012, a group of tourists had already filmed this floor. They discovered a room with some equipment and TVs. And in 2017, it seems Otto Warmbier followed in their footsteps. But for him, it ended in tragedy. Okay, you guys, we're on the 5th floor. The very one. It's really different from the other floors of the hotel. So check it out. This doesn't look like a hotel corridor at all. Although the posters at the entrance are still here, there are clearly fewer of them compared to 2012. It looks like there's some kind of generator room or something. I don't know. All the doors were closed except for one.
Hello. Okay.
Someone came out. The person who spotted us was clearly even less prepared for this encounter than we were. He ran away, locking the only open door. For some reason, there was a mop next to it. You saw what this 5th floor is. We could be in big trouble. So we're gonna go. Of course, we wanted to see more. Give me a 5 anyway. But staying there after being spotted was dangerous. Well, what do you think? Will that come back to bite us? Basically, guys, this floor is 100% some secret service deal. I mean, this floor, well, there is probably some kind of technical wiretapping. I genuinely can't find another explanation because the floor is really different. The floor is actually guarded, and there is a real camera at the entrance to this floor. There are propaganda posters everywhere. On top of that, there are no cameras on the other stair levels. It's obvious there's no TV studio there. It's impossible to get there by elevator. This is definitely some kind of secret services floor. 100%, I know that it is. And yet, we wanted to take a closer look. And so the next night, we decided to risk it all again. So you guys, we're heading to the 5th floor again. Good morning. What, didn't you get enough sleep?
I almost overslept our mission. I blinked and it was out cold.
We're heading to the 15th floor again and heading to the stairs.
Everyone's asleep. Cool t-shirt.
I'm under Booba's protection. Okay, this way. We're gonna take the stairs from here on out. But whoever it was before, they'd drawn their conclusions. It's just locked. The door is locked. Yeah, try it. The door's locked.
It's the 5th.
Yeah, it's the 5th.
The camera's watching right in front of the door. Yeah, damn.
Yeah, well, at least they learned their lesson and locked the door.
By the way, I don't know whether it was on purpose, but yesterday the guide outside said to me, "Do you know what's on the 5th floor?" I said, "What?" And he said, "Just workers living there." "Just workers living there," I said. "Oh, I see. Okay."
Well, guys, the mystery of the Yangon Hotel's 5th floor remains very much the same. It's a mystery. We didn't manage to crack the case completely. What do you think is hidden there? So they've brought us to the subway. So friends, we have an important event. We are going to the Pyongyang subway. So check it out. You can't go in there if you have a temperature over 37 degrees or if you have any illnesses. Entrance to the subway is by contactless payment. It costs 150 won. At the black market rate, that's less than 1 penny. I'll tell you about the exchange rates a little bit later, but foreigners can't pay it in won. Can we buy a ticket? Can we buy one too? Everything is closed. Look, the entire kiosk is just for tickets, and there's some souvenirs there. By the way, payment is by QR code. They really do pay with QR codes here, but we can't. We can't buy anything here. It's clear that most of the subway passengers are ordinary people, but our tour program has been carefully orchestrated. Our new attendant is behind me with a piece of paper, and he appears to be checking something. On the platform, people were engrossed in the newspapers. The people reading the newspapers have been doing it for a very long time, and intensely at that. I have a feeling that they were asked to read it because, aside from them, nobody else is. Including this old man. But then a random passenger approaches him, and then a special agent appears and tells the passenger to leave. And then he notices me and is at a loss. He genuinely wanted to read. He leaves his bag, and not knowing what to do, he goes to the agent. But then the old man continues reading, staring at the same point like a good citizen. They're going to transport us in the old GDR carriages. In fact, I've seen footage that the Pyongyang metro has at least one more modern train. But unfortunately, we won't be riding it. The train was launched in 2016. It looks like a regular metro from any country in the world, with screens that, instead of commercial advertising, show political propaganda. But there are no portraits in the car, whereas in the old cars, portraits of the leaders, the first, Kim Il-sung, and then the second, Kim Jong-il, are mandatory. But overall, it is more interesting to ride in the old cars, as again, it's like you're in a museum. So look, the doors open manually. The passengers, however, mostly just look at their phones. The crowd of foreigners, it seems, does not arouse much interest to them. But while our car remains half empty, for some reason, the neighboring one is packed to the brim. The Pyongyang metro appeared in 1973, a year earlier than in the capital of South Korea, in Seoul, and it is one of the deepest in the world because it was built as a bomb shelter and in keeping with Soviet tradition. On the whole, the metro is a sight to behold. Those who have been in the metro in Moscow or St. Petersburg will understand this entourage, this spirit. When the metro is not just a metro, but somewhat of a museum. You have the beautiful panels on the walls. Naturally, at each station, you have the leader himself. The book stall in the metro is closed again. While we're here, you can't buy anything. Look, there are some films there as far as I can see. This one appears to be a Russian film. Overall, the metro left a good impression on me, at least some communication with the locals, although it's clear that it is limited. And so now I want to try to buy something in the stalls. So let's give it a try. Come on. While the guides are busy being frustrated at us, only just leaving the metro, I just want to try something, although I can already see that everything is closed for us there. You see, everything is already closed with these curtains. You notice that man in black? It's one of our secret observers again. He managed to run ahead and close everything up. I want to try and buy something. But now they're taking everything away. You see, that's a no-go for us. Hello? Could I have a pie? No? Just a pie like that. No, I don't understand why I can't. Can I at least show them? Yeah, look. You know, there are sandwiches and pies here, and so this one single pie here, I can't have it. I don't understand why. They've closed everything off with curtains. They're selling popcorn here. Can I have some popcorn? No? Can I have popcorn? Can I have some popcorn? See, look. I have money. So look, I have money. I want some popcorn. No? Can I? I just can't buy it. Although they sell popcorn, they sell ice cream.
So what? You can't buy anything?
Not a thing. You just can't buy anything.
Ask your guides.
What?
Your guides have all the information.
Where can you buy things?
There, go there.
There?
For some unknown reason, people are running right ahead of us and demanding that all the stalls close. Although they actually sell great sandwiches, fried pies like belyashi, ice cream, popcorn, and foreigners can't buy any of this. It's just forbidden. But tell me, why can't we just buy a sandwich and eat it? They have great sandwiches here. What?
They won't sell it.
Why?
That doesn't mean that you can't. They just won't sell them to you.
But why?
Well, they were probably told that they can't sell it.
But what harm would there be in me buying a sandwich and just eating it?
Those are our rules.
But can you explain me why I cannot buy just sandwich?
So just know, guys, those stalls sell some great sandwiches. Any kind of snack. Gum, water. Well, I mean, basically, it's the same stuff that's sold in these kinds of stalls worldwide. You know, these stalls are absolutely no different from the same stalls that you can find in any city in the world. But for some reason, a foreigner can't buy anything in these stalls here. A little later, I did manage to sneak off and buy some North Korean street food. I'll show you. Okay, you guys, now we're going to get into the store. It's almost impossible for a foreigner to get into a regular store in North Korea. Tourists are taken to currency boutiques where there's a hodgepodge mix of shoes, clothes, even Louis Vuitton and Prada handbags are on sale. Next to them, you have medicines, toys, and food. Now, what could this be?
They look like mushrooms to me. I think they're some kind of mushrooms.
Okay, we've got to get some. All the prices here are in dollars, and sometimes they're just outrageous. Okay, and here they sell electronics. In the store they brought us to, I mean, it's obvious that tourists like us won't buy any of this.
Check it out. The most interesting part
Oh, yeah.
is that it's used.
Yeah, they replaced it, yeah.
Look, something was on this.
Well, yeah, of course, no, they replaced it. Naturally, they're keeping an eye on us here so that we don't see anything that we shouldn't, I guess. But the stove, how much does that cost, I wonder? $780 for the stove. I'm confused. Did they change this price tag just for us? And, in fact, it should be in local won. Or does it really cost $780? This is an air conditioner. I don't know how much it costs. There's no price. Here's another air conditioner. I also don't know how much that costs. There's no price either. Here we have an air conditioner with a price tag. It costs $500. It's cheaper than the stove. I don't know who they're selling this for, tourists or locals. This is an electrical installation, a UPS, and it costs $500. I later found one on the internet in Russia for 20,500 rubles, or about $250. This is the same equipment as what we saw at the airport when we took off, and it's not surprising that by the time it reaches the shelves in the DPRK, it has doubled in price. After all, the North Korean courier who carries it must first be paid at the border to be allowed in with such a product. Then he must give a share to the organization that sent it abroad. Independent trips abroad for residents of the DPRK are practically impossible, and the right to leave the country must be earned, often with a bribe. In addition, the store takes a cut for making the sale. That is why everything imported into North Korea is so expensive. I doubt this is for tourists, you know? That tourists will come here and buy this bathtub for $130. So that means that it's the locals that would buy it for $130. I don't understand that. Just like the eggs in this store, for almost $3, they're clearly not aimed at visitors. And a ton of the clothes, it's definitely not the tourists who buy them, but the local rich people, the so-called donju. I decided to take some light snacks, not so much to eat them, but rather to film them in a special way.
Can you help me to film it? It's filming now? Yeah. Can I try it now?
Okay, so you guys, I have all sorts of different Korean goodies. This is my first time with such a cameraman. I have never had a cameraman like this before, so let's give it a whirl. So here I have garlic, and here I have, I don't know, what is this?
Mushrooms.
Okay, these are some kind of mushrooms, I think. They look like this. And these, as I understand, are chicken feet. So let's start with the chicken feet. By the way, notice how the guide is really good at shooting.
Spicy? Spicy? Okay.
They are not like in China. They are sour and a little spicy. To get a better shot, he changes the angle, and he brings the camera closer when necessary, and he seems genuinely interested in whether I will like their food. Okay, so look at this garlic. It smells like fermented garlic. I mean, I think it's fermented before it's packaged. Well, it's quite a specific taste. It's not disgusting, but it is strange. Okay, so finally this. This is as strange as it gets.
This is mushroom for sure. Yes? Is it good?
Good.
Good? Okay.
But it is with salt.
It is with salt. Okay.
Let's try it. Okay, I'm gonna try this little mushroom here. It smells a little strange. Just a little strange. Very salty. Oh, it's really salty.
Very salty.
I said.
Very salty. And the mushroom itself is really fibrous.
To long freeze to keep long freeze. We take this mushroom with salt.
Well, all in all, the mushrooms are very unusual. They're said to strengthen men's health. They're very salty. But the desire to get into a real store didn't wane. I just want to look at the prices. Okay, let's go. I carefully break away from the group. Just look at how clean it is here, you guys. True, all the pavements are so old, it is clear that they were laid a long time ago. But look, it has just rained. You can even see puddles. Check it out. Not a single piece of paper, not a single cigarette butt lying around. Nothing at all. There's no trash anywhere. It is completely spotless. So let's go to the curb, and you'll see that all the paved stones are neatly laid. There's also no trash on the side of the road. Look, not a single piece. Sure, there are puddles left after the rain, but there is absolutely no dirt at all. And look at the poles. They are all painted absolutely perfectly. Everywhere we go, it's exactly like that, spick and span. After looking around and realizing that there is only one left, I make a dash for that store. The store is clearly for locals. Look, they sell watches here, and all the prices are in local currency. Many people have watches like this. I noticed that a lot of people wear those watches here. Oh, but I've already been caught. Yes?
Everyone's waiting for you.
Oh, but I just wanted to walk around the store. See the guy in rubber boots? He's also one of our secret spies. He pretends to have come in by accident, but this won't be our last encounter with him. Sometimes he'll put on a mask, thinking that no one will recognize him. Okay, over there, see the guy in the rubber boots? He's pretending not to look at us, but he's going to turn around and start looking at us. See, he started looking at us because he's genuinely following us. See, behind the group on the left, he's pretending not to look, and then bam, he turns around and starts watching again. But look again at the prices in the store for locals. Watches for $750,000, $800,000, even $3 million. Yes, there are millionaires in North Korea. Won millionaires. As promised, I'll tell you about the won to dollar exchange rate. It's not that simple, but what happens if a foreigner tries to enter an ordinary grocery store in North Korea? Can we go in here? Can we come in? Why can't we go in here? Hang on a second, I'm just gonna buy some cigarettes. I'm just trying to get to at least one of the display cases. Here are a couple of locals buying chips. This guy's got milk and yogurt. In general, this is an ordinary store. Just look at this store, it has everything. Why can't we look? They have sandwiches there. They have nice, good drinks.
So we went into the store, we wanted to buy something, but they start chasing us out. Let's go.
Okay, so from here, if I go up to the window like this, can I?
You can. Just be quick.
Okay, so look, all of the goodies and sweets are there. The stand, they sell alcohol there. I mean, everything. They just have everything. But for some reason, we can't do this. And there's another guy. Yeah, you see? He's watching us, telling the guide off for allowing us to film. Just look at this store. I mean, there's absolutely everything there. Chips, all kinds of cool food. But no, here people are buying, well, this is the deli section. And you can see there, yeah, hello. The kimchi is 10,000 won. There's some for 12,000 won, something for 5,000 won. I don't see what it is though. Basically, you see these fruits, and we can't go near them. That's how it's all set up. It's not clear why we can't do it. I don't know. This is what a simpler store looks like. Overall, it's also the standard deal. By the way, Chinese tourists used to be treated with more trust than everyone else, apparently considering them members of the same socialist camp. That's why they were allowed into stores. That being said, not ordinary ones, but only those for rich Koreans.
We've arrived at the Taesong department store, a new shopping mall in our city.
Employees of foreign embassies and companies of Pyongyang are also permitted to come here. That's why the signs are in English, and on special occasions, other foreigners too. Here's what Zoe, a British woman who lived in the DPRK for a long time for work, says about this store. Here she is dancing on Kim Il-sung's birthday in North Korea.
It opened in April 2019, and I was actually lucky to be in North Korea at this time. So lucky, in fact, that I ended up being one of the first foreigners to go inside the Taesong department store.
Incidentally, this store was opened personally by the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. Here he is, eyeing up the shoes for himself, and these photos now hang in the shopping mall.
There's also a kind of fourth floor right at the back, which takes up about half of the amount that a normal floor would take up, and on each floor there are different things.
Do you need to take a shopping bag like this one here?
Yes, instead of a basket.
Here's a video, albeit from 2020, shortly before the borders closed and the pandemic started. Since then, prices in the DPRK have risen, but I will quote the black market rate. In 2020, $1 cost about 8,000 won, half as much as it is now in 2025. Here's a yogurt similar to the one I saw the guy buy at the store, 1,400 won. At the commercial rate, that's 18 cents. Cookies, 7,500 won. Of course, in Korea, even in the northern part, you can't get by without ramen.
These are our noodles.
And the packaging, it's so unique, not at all like the famous South Korean noodles. Just like these unique packs of cigarettes, or these unique cans of energy drinks. Or look at how different North and South Korean chips are. And here is the unique design of North Korean soda.
I do have local cola or something like
Cola
Coca-Cola.
is North Korean culture.
Unique North Korean noodles, depending on the flavor, cost from 1,500 to 1,800 won. That's less than $0.25 at the commercial rate. How on earth can it be so incredibly cheap, you ask? Well, if the prices are really like that, then it's worth packing your bags and moving to North Korea. After all, you can buy half a store there for a couple $100. But don't rush to pack your bags just yet. Wait until I've finished.
There are some shops inside the department store that do accept foreign currency, but it's a little bit tricky, or at least it was when they first opened back in 2019, and probably hadn't really got down who accepts foreign currency, who doesn't.
The price tags on Korean goods are black. These are in North Korean won, and on foreign ones, red tags, and these are dollars. For example, imported washing powder, $3.70, and here is some local jam for 75,000
A lot of
won.
local products, but also a lot of imported products from China or like, I don't know, other countries.
Here are chips from China, from the 2022 Olympics, in dollars. Sanitary pads, $1.20. Is that expensive? I don't know. Ginseng, although local, is also in dollars because it's a valuable commodity. Lego, of course, is in dollars, but local nuts, 20,000 won. A little more than $2, and cookies, 72,500 won.
And all the imported products have their price in dollars.
On the second and third floors of the shopping center, clothes and electronics. And here, everything is in dollars. Shavers for $57, toothbrushes for $74, red shoes, a little more than $100. But besides that, French cosmetics, Swiss watches, luxury clothing, sneakers of world brands, around $200.
Dollar? A price?
Which for sure costs a pretty penny. But all this has to be smuggled in because of the sanctions. But there are more serious goods. Swiss watches for $8,870.
Dollar? Dollar price? Not dollar, okay.
Or earrings for almost $12,000. In Pyongyang, there used to be luxury boutiques. For example, everyone who needed to find one knew that near this hotel, Koryo, in this small one-story building under this modest little sign of watch shop, take a closer look. It doesn't scream, come inside. But if you do go in, you can find Swiss watches priced at several hundred and or $1,000. This, for example, is $6,400, but there are cheaper ones, $400. Naturally, this is all under careful surveillance, or better yet, a horde of peeping North Korean millionaires. They looked at the glass cases with curiosity. Generally, the area near the Koryo Hotel is considered one of the most prestigious, as you can see from the cars nearby. So guys, check out this wonderful car park. That's a Range Rover. That's a GAC. It's a Chinese brand, the main luxury brand of minibus here. Yet for some time, this North Korean luxury did not draw any gazes. And then the esteemed Marshal Kim Jong-un himself opened an elite department store, and it was shown on TV. And considering the almost religious love of North Koreans for their leaders, which we will discuss in a separate episode, The North Korean people, as expected, literally darted there. However, some will say that they were all just simply sent as extras to film. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Here, everyone is sorting out those same branded shoppers at the entrance, admiring the abundance of products, including the fake cola at a ridiculous price. They stock up, and then they go up, and there it is no laughing matter. Guys, this is an officially sanctioned shoot, not mine, of course. And look what made it into the shot. The electronics department. They probably wanted to brag about all the brands. But you remembered that the red price tags are in dollars? A 50-inch television, $41,000. A laptop, $70,000. Maybe for the trendy color? It could be yuan, not dollars, but even then the laptop is incredibly expensive. Look at the beaming smiles on these people's faces as they entered the store. And what's on their faces in the electronics department? No one is smiling. I think this woman is ready to faint, or she's terrified. So how is it possible that some goods in North Korea are unthinkably cheap and others are just as unthinkably expensive? And who in the country buys Swiss watches, French perfume, Range Rovers, American computers at unimaginable prices, and stoves for hundreds of dollars? Understanding the economy of North Korea is very difficult, especially considering that both the North Korean authorities and many foreign journalists do everything they can to deceive you. For example, German reporters came to shoot a film in Pyongyang.
We're traveling through the world's most secretive country. Our first morning in the capital of Kim Jong-un's empire. The next morning, we are taken to the Pyongyang department store, where food is being offered in addition to everyday commodities. Price tags are off limits. Those who can pay in the currency of the big nemesis, the USA, in dollars. The others have to pay large sums in North Korean won.
Stop. Now let's look at the price the journalist just called exorbitant. Wine, $6 per bottle. This wine is not in an expensive supermarket in North Korea, but in an online store in Hong Kong. 30 Hong Kong dollars is about 4 American dollars. And I think you'll agree a 50% markup can hardly be called exorbitant, considering that wine is a rare drink in North Korea and it must be brought in through bypassing sanctions. There are also liqueurs for 70 cents. Where in the world have you seen strong alcohol at such prices?
Everything else is expensive, especially imported goods. Even pickled cucumbers and garlic.
Again, hang on, pickled garlic for $1.50. I don't know why the journalist decided that it was imported, but here is pickled garlic again in an online store in Hong Kong. 16 Hong Kong dollars is also about $1.5 US. For some reason, the German journalist did not show any prices except for alcohol and garlic. The choice, in my opinion, is strange.
The shortage is not evident, but palpable everywhere.
Especially the shortage of truth in such materials. But there is propaganda galore. Incidentally, just like the propaganda of the North Korean authorities, who assure that people in the country do not need anything at all, live in paradise, are given as much food as they want, with apartments 100 square meters minimum in size. I'm not joking. That's exactly what our guide told us. I'll try to explain it in real terms, but it's a tricky task. First of all, because it's not clear at what rate to calculate North Korean won. After all, prices in won don't mean anything to you, do they? And the fact that there are a lot of zeros in the price tag doesn't make the price high. For example, in Vietnam, $1 is equal to almost 25,000 dong, meaning a sandwich in a store can cost almost 100,000 dong. And for dinner in a restaurant, you could pay a 6-figure sum, such as 1,000,000 dong. Does that mean Vietnam is an expensive country? No. Vietnam is a fairly cheap country. Back to ramen for 1,500 won. Depending on how you go about changing money in North Korea, it can be either $14 or 8 cents. There are 3 rates here. You can simply go haywire over the rates here. There is an official rate, and then according to it, $1 equals 110 won. This rate at the hotel, for example, is 110 won per dollar. And then it turns out that the ramen costs $14, yogurt, $12, and cookies more than 70. For foreigners, if they want to officially pay in won, these are the prices. But in reality, no one changes using the official rate. There's another rate. There is a kind of semi-black rate for special economic zones. I used it in the city of Rason to change $1 for 9,000 won, or more precisely 8,800. There I managed to exchange currency for won at a bank, which in North Korea is actually only allowed for those involved in import and export. The vast majority of the population cannot do this. So guys, I have money. So I know for sure about the second bank rate for won. In fact, I got a North Korean bank card back in Rason. I talked about it in more detail in the first episode. Watch it if you haven't seen it. We saw the same commercial bank rate in the aforementioned report by German journalists. You see, $6 is 49,800 won. By the way, it's funny how they write tens of thousands in Korea, right? But ordinary North Koreans do, on occasion, also need currency, at least to buy foreign washing powder or sanitary pads. Actually, some people buy computers or air conditioners or even cars. Yes, cars are sold in North Korea for dollars. Here's a car dealership, but there is another way, and I'll show you in the next episode. But where can the average North Korean get dollars? For that, there is a street rate. A black market rate. But on the street, it turns out they give 20,000 won for $1. How do I know this? I changed money on the black market in Pyongyang. In fact, it's easier than it seems. Any store or kiosk can be an exchange office. Buying and selling currency hand to hand in North Korea, although prohibited by law, is in fact absolutely normal for the local residents. In order to do this, I had to run away from my escorts. I can't show you exactly how, so I don't drop anyone into it. I also covered my face in the exchange office. I'll just take off my shoes. This is an ordinary kiosk, of which you'll find thousands in North Korea. Can I see what's here? Cool pear, booze, vodka. No Coca-Cola?
There is no Coca-Cola.
Coke. No, there's no Coca-Cola here either, but there is Chinese vodka. So I start the exchange, and we agree on the terms using the calculator on my phone. $1? The woman is surprised as to why I'm changing so little, but I'm only interested in the rate. So look, she takes out a pack of local won. She should give 16,000, but she has no small notes, and so she counts out 3 5,000 notes for me for $1. From $1, I was given 15,000 won.
Put on your shoes, put on your shoes.
But on top, instead of the extra 1,000, I'm given a bottle of water. And then I found out that 16,000 was what they gave me as a foreigner, while the real black market rate at that time was around 20,000. And at that rate, that same ramen would have cost me 8 cents. So I go to another kiosk. All right, come on, you guys. What can I get at some kiosk in the park? This is 7-Up. This is beer. And these are some drinks. Cola?
What?
Cola. No cola?
Only Mirinda.
That's Tiger beer. Mirinda. Can I pay in dollars? In dollars?
Are you taking a beer?
No. No.
This?
Okay, yeah. Okay, what is this? This is Chinese 7-Up and Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola.
Oh, no, that's Mirinda. No.
It's the same.
Okay. They also sell eggs and, of course, kimchi. Now pay attention to how many dollars the saleswoman at the stall has. Where do you think she got those from? The North Korean economy has been gradually switching to foreign currency for a couple of decades now. The stalls and tents, which, unlike in 1989, are now on every corner, are mostly privately owned and sell, in addition to local food, a lot of imported water and snacks. They have to buy them for yuan, or dollars, and consequently sell them for the same currencies. Meaning that if you're a foreigner who cannot exchange dollars in the black market, and please do not do this, because that will land you genuinely in prison for real. I did this exclusively for journalistic purposes to show you. Please do not break the laws. So if you are an ordinary foreigner and exchange at the state rate for $1, 110 won, then everything is expensive for you here. But if you are a North Korean businessman who's in the import-export game and who has foreign currency and who can exchange that currency on the black market, well then for him, everything is incredibly cheap. And for an ordinary North Korean, are the prices here high or not? Well, to answer that question, you need to understand how much North Koreans earn. Now you're in for some shock content, really. First off, we need to split all Korean workers straight away into two types. Those who work for the state and those who work in the private sector. They do not just have different incomes, but the very essence of their income is different. It is very difficult to talk about the salaries of people in North Korea for a lot of reasons. Let's calculate everything at the bank rate, 9,000 won to the dollar. So, the salary, for example, of a stoker, a person who stokes the stoves. Each of the residential buildings here has a coal furnace downstairs in the basement, and a stoker works there. His salary in Pyongyang, don't be surprised, is about 50,000 won. Outside of Pyongyang, it's about 10,000 won, i.e. about $1. A teacher's salary in Pyongyang can be about 150 to 200,000 won. That is about $20. Outside of Pyongyang, it can be about 50,000 won, so about $6. But we must also take into account that we need to add a huge number of things that a person receives in addition to their salary, which is rice, beans, clothes, shoes, backpacks, everything, literally everything a person receives at work in the form of not money, but simply material goods. This is why so many North Koreans are dressed the same, because they receive these clothes at work. At the end of 2023, the North Korean authorities announced that they had increased the salaries of some categories of workers by 20 times here, which is certainly a huge increase. But the very possibility of increasing salaries tenfold speaks to how low they actually are. I understand that for many of you, it sounds shocking that a person can earn $1 or $5 a month, or even $20. But North Koreans consider this the norm. What do you think of life in North Korea? How did you like the episode? Write your comments. I'd appreciate your likes, and please send this video to your friends, because we are moving on. Let's go.